awareness with us and tell us how it's like living with this disease and how she copes with it, as well as how she takes her medicine. Ms. Remo, you have the floor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone, once again.
Good evening.
I want to start this presentation by explaining what I'm going to talk about mainly. I'm going to give you some history about myself personally. I'm going to explain to you what diabetes is, some keywords that you should know, how it works, the types of diabetes, the signs, the material, and what to do when your blood sugar is high. So we pack for tonight. So first, I was diagnosed at 11. It's actually a genetic thing. So I got it because both my grandmothers were diabetics. So I found out about it because I was really sick. Maybe for about 2 weeks. I was young. And my mother just thought it was the flu or so she didn't bother taking me to the doctor. But as time went by, it started to progress that I was really weak. So we finally went to the doctor and we checked back on some blood tests that was run before. And 2 weeks prior, I was a pre-diabetic. So they didn't catch it in time. So by the time that I was at the doctor's office, I was already a diabetic. I was rushed to the hospital and they put me on insulin immediately, or else I would have been in a coma. I initially started using insulin as a pen. Unfortunately, I don't use it anymore, so I don't have it with me, but it is about this long and it has insulin on the inside. And I transitioned from the insulin pen to the pump, which I actually have here with me, when I was 12. When I was 19, I fell into a coma, unfortunately, due to lack of taking care of myself properly or taking care of the diabetes. But throughout my life, from 11 till now, I've lived a normal life in school. My social life was the same. I just had to watch what I was eating and make sure I take my medication. And then after transitioning from the pen to the pump, I got the pod. Now we'll consider what is diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic disease where your body doesn't make insulin or can't use it well as it should. So insulin comes from your pancreas, which is located right on the hair. Everybody has it naturally and your body will produce it naturally. But when you become a diabetic, it no longer functions, so I can't get insulin. In that case, that would be type 1. Type 2 is when you produce insulin, but your body doesn't use it well enough. That's the main types of diabetes. I'm going to explain you some keywords because you might hear some stuff, but you might not understand what it means. I'm going to explain the meaning. First, I mentioned the pancreas. The pancreas is the organ that produces insulin. That's the only thing that it does. Insulin is the hormone that is used to manage blood sugar levels. Hyperglycemia, which means high blood sugar, and hypoglycemia means low blood sugar. You will also hear the word ketones, which is a chemical that the liver produces after breaking down fat. How does diabetes work? Diabetes occurs when the blood glucose or sugar is too high. Glucose is then in your body is, how to explain? It's a source of energy. That's what sugar is, it gives you energy. So if your body produces this, it produces it naturally for non-diabetics. But when you become a diabetic, it now has to be done artificially, in a sense. That's where insulin comes to play, by making sure that the glucose gets into the cells to create energy. Type 1 diabetes is mostly in juvenile. That's why when I was 11, I got type 1. And type 2 is mainly for those that are a little older in age. And you could be overweight, or you're not physically active, so you get type 2 instead of type 1. Early signs of diabetes is very important to know because you can catch it in time. It's just like cancer. You catch it in time, they have therapy and stuff that they can do to prevent it from developing further. Signs as urinating often, thirst, the loss of weight, blurry vision, tiredness, dry skin. These are early signs of diabetes. This also happens when your sugar levels are high. When it's really high, for example, myself, I don't like to drive when it's high because I can't see the road, or I feel extremely thirsty, and every 20 minutes I want to urinate. And this is how ketones, as I mentioned before, comes into play, because when you stop using the insulin or you don't use it properly and your sugar is high, the liver will now need to find a source of way to make energy, and then it uses your body fat. That's why diabetics lose weight when their sugar is very high. And after using your body fat, the liver will now send out this acidic chemical called ketones, which can affect your acid levels, and that's how you end up in a coma. That is how I ended up in a coma a couple years ago. Diabetics also have to use different things to be able to maintain their sugar. For example, I showed you the pump. This was used around the time when I was 11. This is the new one. It's called a pod. This controls the pod. I have a blood sugar meter. These are the test strips that you would put into the meter. To demonstrate how I put this on, I already have one on. It's activated. I wanted to show you exactly the whole process, but if I have to show you from a new one, I would have to deactivate this one. So I can't deactivate it. It comes in a package like this. I already opened it. They send boxes of these for me from away. And they send it regularly. I don't have to remind them. So on the device, I can program everything. I can control how much doses I take. It also gives me insulin throughout the day. And depending on my lifestyle at the moment, I would decide, okay, I don't want so much in the morning, maybe I want more in the afternoon, stuff like that. The doctor usually put a set program for me, but I already explained to the doctor that I am living with this and I don't know how I feel, so I wanted to be able to access it myself, and she gave me permission to do this. So I adjust it when I'm feeling sick or it's too high, it's too low. So what I will do, I will open the package and I'll take out everything. It comes with a syringe, a needle, and the pod, which is what's on my hand. I'll attach the needle to the syringe, and I will take the bottle and I will just take out some. So there's 200 units max. I put 150 because I don't use the whole 200. So to save me medication, I'll have extra. On the pod, I would set that I am creating a new one. But I can't do that now, but I'll just explain that that's the process. So I would set it that, okay, I'm gonna create a new one. It's Bluetooth connection. So it will start connecting to the pod immediately. There's a small hole right here. That's where I'm gonna insert the needle. And put the insulin inside. The beep letting me know that it's at least minimum full that I can use it. After that, I would set it on my palm to start communicating with it, and I would already have it attached to my skin. So I would just remove the blue piece, which would expose the needle that's supposed to go into my skin. I can put it anywhere. I can put it here, any like fleshy area. I peel off the paper and expose the stickiness, and I'll just put it anywhere on my skin and it sticks. I could shower with it, go to the beach, everything, it would stay stiff. And then you would hear a sound as the needle goes into my skin. You would hear it, but I can't do it, unfortunately. So then the needle pierces into my skin and it leaves a plastic needle on the inside, which is how the insulin gets through each time. As for the meter, this also comes with a patch, but I don't wear the patch because I'm allergic to the material. If I have to remove this for you, it's literally a black spot because I'm allergic to it. But I can also use the strips where I prick my finger and then I test my blood. But the patch is also the same thing. I would just take this and I would swipe it like that, and it would show me the blood sugar levels on it. For pricking my finger, I use this device. I just put the needle in. I expose the needle. You can't see it, but it's right there. And then I close it back and I just press it, and it pricks me. And then I just take a small amount of blood and I put it in the strip, and that's about it.
Let's say you fall sick and you're not able to, like you said, you fell in a coma. If you're going into that phase, are your family trained to assist in that, to assist you so you can get the right amount of doses that you need in the event of?
Yes, my mother is. She went to me the first time when I first got the whole package, and they taught her and myself to use it immediately.
As a backup in case you fall.
Yes.
Okay, that's important.
I have another question. Like after you use the insulin, right? Is there like a time period that you have to eat? Because I know of some people, if they take the insulin and they don't eat, they start to feel giddy or real sick. So does it ever happen to you?
Yes. So that's why I was when I mentioned that it gives me insulin show the day, and I would adjust it. So for example, if in the morning I'm busy at work, I don't get time to eat breakfast, by 10, 11 I'm already feeling weak, because all throughout the morning I'm getting insulin and I'm not eating. And rapid insulin, it sends your blood sugar down very quickly. But when it comes to eating a meal or something, I take a dose to level it. But anything throughout the day with no food, my sugar will drop.
Okay, so, well, this person, she has hypo-diabetes, so basically she has low blood sugar. And then she said that the doctor said she no longer has to take insulin because it regulated. Is that possible for you?
No, not for me. I guess maybe she has type 2, because type 1, my pancreas don't work at all. It cannot produce any insulin. So there's no cure, I have to take insulin for the rest of my life. Any more questions?
In the event that something were to happen out in public, because like he said, like at home you have somebody that's trained to give you the right dosage, or do you have something on standby for, like, for example, if people are out in public, somebody could just, like, for example, if you have an allergic reaction, they have EpiPen, you could just give it to somebody. You would have like a insulin pin or something that someone, like anybody could use like easily if you were to be in a situation where, you know, a random stranger has to help you.
Well, I was never told anything about it through any medication I was given. But people that I am around often, I usually tell them, I can tell you what's wrong with me, and I want you to follow exactly what I tell you. Because people tend to panic, and if you're panicking, I won't panic, but I'll get irritated, you know? So if I tell you, my sugar is low, get me something sweet, I want you to get me something sweet. But if it's high, usually I would know to give me medication. Nobody knows how to function this because it's password protected and it's very complicated. You really have to train to use it. So if it's high, I would just have to take a break and take my medication. But if it's low, and until you get me something sweet immediately, that's all I want. Any more questions?
Strength is reborn, forge with the fire.
And this award to your certificate of appreciation for your inspiration and your detailed explanation on diabetes. We had our, I think last week it was? This week? Yeah, I'm still in shock, please forgive me. I would never look at diabetes the same again. We had an event at the Carlson Sun, and it was a little bit more in depth where limbs were being removed. And the doctor that actually did it, which is Dr. Messalina, came and gave a in-depth explanation as to it. And I think education is one of the main things, so you need to be educated about it, and also poverty contribute towards it. You have people that, unfortunately, because of lack of fundings, they're not able to get the right medication that they're supposed to, and then unfortunately that just continues deteriorating until that limb is removed. So I want to applaud you for this evening for being brave and for sharing it among your peers, and the information shared here. I don't think it should stay here alone. Any labels, no persons with it, encourage them and support them along this journey. It's not the easy road. I want to thank you, and hope that you could stick this somewhere and remember this evening.
Thank you for having me.
And looking forward to see you not as a prospect, but as a leader.